Welcome to the Cougar Connection podcast. Today we are talking to the October Student of the Month, Senior Kamber Arthalony. Normally Kamber's doing the one asking the questions, but today I get to sit in for her and put her in the spot, on the spot. Congratulations, and thank you for spending some time with me today. So let's get into these questions.
All right, I'm ready.
What are your plans after high school?
So I plan to attend ISU in Bloomington and go for nursing, and then for after about 4 years, I'll probably become a NICU nurse, more than likely, or a labor and delivery, just whatever one.
So what has made that be the thing you're wanting to do?
Honestly, it's been so tough trying to pick a career to go in. I think it's super hard to do, especially just being in high school. You don't have a lot of experience. So I've bounced around a little bit, and I just feel I'm a hands-on person. So I feel like that would suit me well.
Yeah, I think one of the things about when you're your age is you're trying to, you're thinking, I got to find something that I want to do for the rest of my life. And you don't always necessarily have to do that. I remember kids would come to me when I was still, I teach now, but different, and they would come and be like, I don't know what I want to do, and all stressed about it. And I don't know if that's a good thing, because I know from my experience when I got there, if something doesn't go exactly the way you want, then you feel like, oh, I can't change. So it's good, though, that you have a plan and you have an idea, something you want to do. And it's definitely something that would make a difference and help people out, too. So that's a good thing. So during your time here at Illini Central, what teacher or teachers have impacted you the most?
Okay, so I have two.
Okay.
And I think they're both for different reasons, but also similar in the same way. So my first one would be Senior Jasko. I think if you ever need something, if you ever need information about anything, Senor's your girl to go to. She knows everything.
Right.
I don't know how, but she does.
Yeah.
And she's a really good teacher, and I know it's super hard to teach Spanish to a bunch of teenagers, but she does it really well. And she always makes you feel like welcomed too. And so that's really nice. And then my second one would be Mr. Burks. And I hate saying this on the record, but he's been here since our 6th grade year. He's kind of grown up with us in a sense of like being a teacher, and so it's just having that connection with Mr. Burks he's our class sponsor, and we just kind of joke around a little bit. So
yeah, I think those are two good choices. I know my kids love Mrs. Jasko. She does a great job. She's a terrific teacher, like you said, teaching a subject that not everyone's like dying to take Spanish. And I think that makes it harder, even having taught history. Not everybody loved history either. So you try to make it enjoyable. And I think, she's terrific. And what you said about Coach Burks is true. I know from my own experience, when I was still teaching in the middle school, you might have me for 3 years in a row, and then because of sports, you were around me, and you're a cheerleader, obviously, so you're around him with that. And you do build a different relationship when you've been with someone for all the middle school years, and then for the 4 years of high school. So
he just knows that if he gives crap to me, I'll give it right back to him. It just kind of makes that relationship fun, and you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. And those are the people that you'll remember the most when you're down the road 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
So speaking of down the road, how have you, or not down the road, but let's go back. How have you changed since you walked in those front doors as a freshman in high school?
Oh, I feel like I don't want to say I've changed for the worse, but when you look at it in a sense, I kind of have, but it might be better for me in a way too.
Right.
Because I feel like walking in, I was a little more outgoing than I am now. And I feel like now I've kind of developed some like maybe social anxiety or, just things where I'm a little bit put back into my shell around certain people or big crowds, and stuff like that. So I feel like that's the biggest way I've changed. And I don't say what's on my mind as much anymore, which could be a good thing.
That's funny, though, that you would think that you would be you're the reverse, because a lot of people, when they were freshmen, you think they would just keep to themselves, but by the time they get to your age, you think you have it all figured out. And no, that's interesting, because I was probably in the reverse of that, because when I was your age, it's like I know everything, and then especially in the spring of my senior year, that's when you really get to the point where you think you got it all figured out. So
I just hate upsetting people. That's my thing. I just don't like upsetting people.
Right.
So
yeah.
I don't talk to people.
That's right. You can upset somebody if
you don't talk to them.
If you don't talk to them. What makes you proud to go to this school? What has Illini Central done that makes you proud to say you're an Illini Central Cougar?
I say this all the time on this podcast, and I stand by it, and I will stand by it for forever. And it's being here. It's a community. It's a family. Everyone knows each other. And sometimes that's not very good because you
Right.
get some rumors and everything. But sometimes it's just like, someone's going through a tough time, you help them, like everyone picks them up and everyone supports
Right.
them and everything. And so I think it's great to be, I think it's because we're such a small community,
Mhm.
so we have to be that way. We can't just like stay out and everything. We have to come together as a family and support everyone.
Yeah, I grew up in the same kind of place where you
Yeah.
did. You knew everybody in your class. Many of them you had gone from kindergarten to where you
Yeah.
are right now. And yeah, and when you have that relationship, it makes you feel like you are a part of something, and you
Yeah.
hope that other people see it that way too. And
Yeah.
and obviously being in here when you're doing these, most everybody says the same thing to that
Yeah.
question.
I always say I would not go to a bigger school, and I'm kind of scared to go to ISU because it's quite bigger
Yeah,
than
I
Illini
can-
Central.
Yeah, I can say when I went to Western, even Western only being 20 minutes from where I grew up, it was
Yeah.
different because, I had the locker next to the same person for 6
Yep.
years, and then all of a sudden you don't. And it was definitely a change for someone like me. It's good for other people, but for me, it took a while to get adjusted to
Yeah.
that. Okay, so let's go. Any superpower. What superpower, if you could have one, let's be on the lighter side now. What superpower would you pick of all of the superpowers?
I've listened and I've thought about this a lot. This might be one of my favorite questions. I don't know why. I don't know. I like superheroes. I'm a big Marvel person.
Yeah,
And so I think super speed. I want to be the Flash
right.
because if you teleport, then you get places like fast, but then also if you have super speed, you're also getting there in like 1 second.
Right.
If you really think about it. And the Flash can run on water, and I really want to do that. I feel like that'd be really cool.
Yeah, you got to add that into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've heard many different ones. It's
I
funny
have.
sitting here listening to people over the couple years that you've done this.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a different one, and they get kind of heated about it sometimes.
Yeah.
Last time when you mentioned, we were talking about that with Caleb was in here,
Oh,
and we were
goodness.
talking about telekinesis. And so, yeah, and you have heard a lot of different ones.
Yeah.
Funniest moment. What's the funniest thing that's happened in the last 4 years?
Honestly, I don't know. It's probably something that happened in the class, me and Mr. Bunner arguing or something like
Right.
that. It's just something that me and Mr. Bunner do. on-
Yeah, it's been a fun
day
2
to day.
years.
Yeah.
I think about when it's over in May, it's going to be crazy because we've done had a lot of fun in there the last couple of years and accomplished a lot of things. And there's
Yeah.
definitely funny moments in that. So, what's been your most embarrassing moment during high school?
I don't know. It's probably, I don't know. It's so hard to pick one. It's like I can't even think of one. The one that I come to, it's not even in high school. It was 8th grade night, basketball. We were cheering. I was running off the floor after doing a floor cheer, and I face planted.
Yeah.
But that's not even high school. That's the only one I could think
Right.
of.
Well, it's good that you don't have anything like that from high school. Maybe
Yeah,
you got
good
it
thing
all-
I didn't
got it
fall
out
in
of,
high
got it out of. Well, you do have a game tonight, so
Oh,
let's hope
goodness.
that you didn't just
I
jinx
hope I
yourself
don't Lewistown.
down there in the
awful.
Lewistown Bowl. You don't want to trip in front of everybody down
I hate
there.
playing there.
So,
Lights are so bright there.
pet peeve. What
Whoa.
is your biggest pet peeve?
So,
You don't have a list, right?
oh, I do.
Okay.
Okay, so first of all, we'll do some with school first. And you walk in the hallway. If you're walking this way, like if you're walking, I don't know how to say it, but you stay on the right side.
Right, you got
and
the
the
right
other
and the
person,
right,
you
yeah,
know, like
yeah,
you're
it's like
always on the
traffic.
right side. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
it's
traffic.
traffic.
And if you're walking slow, I'm going to pass you like traffic. So don't try to block me from passing you.
Yeah.
And if you walk slow and you're taking up the whole hallway, just please don't, because I need to get to my class and I don't like walking slow. It bugs me so much.
I can imagine what it would be like if you were going here when our enrollment was really high. Boy, you'd really be
Yeah, I would be angry.
back in the day, and they had like benches in the hallway too. Like
They had benches.
yeah, like instead of going to the gym before school, people would sit in the hallways and stuff. Yeah, be more cluttered. You would really be pet peeved.
How
out
do
at
they
that.
fit benches in the
Yeah, they were
hallway?
like those like metal ones, not like the wooden ones that we have now. Yeah, they used to be metal benches around. But, yeah,
Interesting.
that's the truth.
Another one. Chewing loudly, drinking loudly.
Yeah, my daughter would agree with that.
Yeah, it goes hand in hand with like chewing with your mouth open,
Right.
but like chewing loudly, and then like if I can hear you
right.
drinking, that's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
It really bugs me. So
Yeah,
please
so-
don't do it around me.
So you've got That's just 2. You
Yeah,
probably
that's
have
just 2.
many, many more,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah. I figure we shouldn't sit here all day and do
Right.
it, so.
Spend your whole Student of the Month podcast
Talking about
your pet
pet
peeves.
peeves. Yeah.
Well, as you usually end it, now I got to try to quickly in my head remember how to end it the right way. But once again, Kamber, congratulations for
Thank
being
you.
named Student of the Month. You've done a lot of stuff for Illini Central in your 4 years, and we thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
Make sure you look out for the next Cougar Connection podcast coming to you.
No.
See, I knew
Coming soon to you.
to you. I thought I could do it without looking at it.
Nope.
And I couldn't.